if you thought, I don't even know how to preface this, if you thought that Big Pharma was corruptly in bed with like the CDC and the NIH and Fauci and even the FDA, if you thought Big Pharma was corruptly in bed with CDC, wait until you hear about Big Food. Now, yes, the politics of food is what we're going to talk about today. And the way that I'm going to explain this or preface this conversation is by posing a thought experiment to you. And here it is. What if I told you that there was a way to prevent cancer and a way to prevent Alzheimer's? Would you believe me? And I want you to sit there. You're listening to what I'm saying right now. And I want you to honestly say in your mind, well, yes, I would believe her. Or, I don't know. No, I don't know that I would believe that without more information. Okay. You have that answer in your mind. Now let me ask you a second question. If Big Pharma told you that there was a way to prevent cancer and that they had a way to prevent Alzheimer's, would you believe Big Pharma? Do the same thing in your mind. I bet this time you're like, yeah, I would believe them. If there was finally a cure for cancer, if there was a cure for Alzheimer's, I would cheer. I would be so excited. My third question is, why would you believe Big Pharma versus believing facts and science? This is what we're going to talk about today. The larger picture here, we've talked about this a little bit on the show the last couple days, the last couple weeks, is that there is this cultural idea or this cultural narrative. It's becoming quite pervasive that you cannot comment on someone else's obesity. Now, I'm not talking about walking down the street and pointing to a fat person and saying, hey, you fatty, go for a run. I'm talking about even in a healthcare situation, it's becoming politically incorrect for doctors to say, hey, you are obese or you're overweight, and that leads to serious health problems and you need to lose weight in order to be healthy. There's this movement right now called Health at Every Size. They abbreviated HAES, that wants to make obesity or wants to take obesity off the table in any kind of healthcare conversation. So you go to your doctor and your doctor doesn't focus on your weight. Your doctor focuses on every other problem that you have, probably begotten of the obesity, but the obesity is not to be touched. Simultaneously, with the Health at Every Size narrative that we see in our culture, it's the left taking it a step further, saying that if you do talk about obesity, then you are anti-fat. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. It's not anti the person, it's anti the health condition. But the left says if you are anti-fat, then you are anti-black. We talked about this last week on the show with that video of the girl saying that anti-fat is anti-black because it means that you are advocating for adjacency to whiteness, as if all white people are thin, which is false, as if all black people are fat, which is also false. Ridiculous. Obesity is a health condition. We established that, but the epidemic of obesity and the ramifications of that are ignored in our culture. Now, you might be thinking, okay, Liz, this is boring. I'm not here for a nutrition lecture. Wait until you hear about the politics of the thing. So the politics of the thing, the corruption behind what's happening in our nation that's hurting people, is just as political as Big Pharma's being in bed with Fauci and the CDC and the FDA. The lobbyists specifically have been stoking the fires of this anti-fat is anti-black, health at every size, politically correct narrative for their own profit, for the profit of big food and the profit downstream for Big Pharma.